In 1928, a Scottish chemist called Alexander Fleming discovered penicillin. As the story goes, he went on holiday and when he returned he found mould growing on a petri dish of Staphylococcus bacteria. He shrewdly noticed that in the area surrounding the mould there was no bacterial growth, meaning something in the mould was killing the bacteria, and this subsequently birthed the discovery of penicillin. Later, Fleming went on to receive the Nobel in Physiology or Medicine with German scientist Ernst Chain and the Australian scientist Howard Florey, who took Fleming's discovery and developed it into the useful drug we see today. For decades now, we have been reliant on their discovery, turning bacterial infections into something we no longer fear will be life-threatening, but we take a tablet to treat it in a couple of weeks and we go on with our lives. However, antibiotic resistance is putting a stop to that. When we get infected, we take antibiotics to get better, and this kills the bacteria. But sometimes not all of the bacteria are destroyed, leaving behind the stronger resistant bacteria to multiply, cause infection, and start the cycle all over again. However, this time the antibiotic will not work. This is how resistance develops, and we are seeing this with diseases like MRSA and C. difficile, particularly in hospitals where patients are most at risk. So, what can we do? First, we could do nothing. More of our antibiotics become ineffective and currently curable diseases start posing a genuine threat to society. How about making new antibiotics? That could definitely work, but the more we use antibiotics, the more resistance develops, so that doesn't really break the cycle we are in. What about if we try and stop the infection before we have to treat it? Now that could work. Vaccines worked for viruses like polio. Why not for bacteria? To make a bacterial vaccine, we need something that looks like the bacteria, but is not harmful. Once injected, the immune system will learn what the bacteria looks like and develop antibodies to fight it off in the future when we get infected for real. Since the surface of the bacteria is what the immune system will see first, let's take a closer look at it and see if anything can be used. On the surface of the bacteria is a thick sugar coating called the glycocalyx. It is made up of long chains of different sugars linked together. And remarkably, the order of these sugars can be unique for different bacteria. So, if we know what the sugar sequence on the surface of a specific bacteria looks like, can we take only the sugar and make it into a vaccine, without the rest of the bacteria that causes the infection? And the answer is yes. Carbohydrate-based vaccines are already available for bacterial infections like meningitis and pneumonia, and are being given to the public as we speak. Even though there are new strains of bacteria developing all the time, widespread vaccination against bacterial diseases could be a way to tackle this on a very large scale, meaning we can reserve the life-saving antibiotics for the hopefully smaller number of cases without worrying about resistance. And hopefully, with a bit of luck, we can cut the cycle of resistance for good.